Everyone have heard about Grow a Garden at this point, the biggest Roblox game made so far, getting almost 8 times more players than Blox Fruits, which used to hold the title of top 1 popular Roblox game. And when something becomes big and popular, it will have its own fans and haters. Obviously, the same happened with Grow a Garden. The game got over 20 million players 3 times already, and in just a few months, it reached 20 billion visits, which makes it top 6 most visited games on Roblox ever. And seeing that it gets over 200 million visits per day, in just a few days, it will surpass Murder Mystery 2 and get the 5th place. But why is Grow a Garden so popular? Well, I think everyone already knows what the game is mainly about. You can even describe it in 10 words: buy seeds, plant seeds, harvest crops, sell crops, and repeat. That's also what you have to do when you first time enter the game. Tutorial only teaches you about the core gameplay loop and nothing else. But obviously planting seeds and harvesting crops is far from the only thing you will do in this game, which also helps to keep players playing. Most of the Grow a Garden players are kids, and I think it's really not a surprise. At least 60% of players are under 17 years old, and that's from the 2024 analytics. With Grow a Garden having millions of players, that could most likely have changed. So what do you do as a developer when your game's audience is mostly kids? You add more things that can get the players excited quickly, because when something rare happens to them, that can motivate the player to keep playing the game, right? So instead of you just growing plants and harvesting crops for currency, the said crops can grow bigger and smaller, while also getting mutations. Mutations give boosts, and they happen mainly when weather changes, which does happen pretty often. These 2 things alone help to keep players wanting to play by quite a lot, since now you always have a chance to grow something very expensive and rare, and when you do, you can't miss out on getting mutations on that crop. The game is made to keep you as the player for as long as possible in the game, while also making you want to return. The shop restocks every 5 minutes. Weather event happens probably like every 10 to 15 minutes, and obviously, plants grow offline, making you want to join back to see if anything good grew up while you were gone. But to add some variety to the game, developers decided to also have gear and pets. Gear is mainly something that will boost your plants, make the size of crops bigger, or give higher odds for mutations, but also some other stuff. Pets have more to them. Like, for example, there are rare pets you could get with pretty good boosts to them. And there is even a chance to get a big pet, since pets also have sizes. Very small, but there is a chance. And now recently, pet mutations were added, which give a bonus to the pet, and those mutations can affect the pet's size, look, or even give it particles. If you were to check the player count for the game, you can see how people join every hour. This is because of the events in this game, which usually will activate a weather event that everyone needs for the event itself. And because of how many random things can happen, as well as game being very simple, it just works in a way where anyone can play and enjoy the game. With Grow a Garden being this popular and setting insane records, why can't other games be this popular? There are many games on Roblox which visually and even gameplay-wise are made better and may be more fun than watching plants grow. Take for example a game like Untitled Tag Game or Big Paintball 2. Both are pretty fun combat games to play, but there is one big reason these games can't get close to the same big numbers. They require skill and strategies. When you play these kind of games, you will eventually get better by coming up with different strategies to combat other players. Grow a Garden, on the other hand, is very chill and simple. It does not need much thinking, which is why kids can enjoy the game. Every mechanic in this game is very straightforward. If the crop is bigger, means it's better, more mutations also means better, and so on. And simple games, obviously, can be liked by older people. In my case, I enjoy both action games like Untitled Tag Game and chill games like Grow a Garden. It's just that kids will mainly like chill games only because action games can be too complicated for them. And as I already said, there is a lot of kids playing Roblox. So what about bots? Bots have been a known problem on Roblox for a while, and Grow a Garden does have bots. There is no doubt to it. The actual question is, how many bots are there? Based on the server list, It actually looks better than it did before, but the VIP servers are free, so they could be hiding there. For that, we need a game that is known for having bots, like Pet Simulator 99. It's filled with bots, and if we check its analytics, we can see player count barely changes through the daytime, and it also only gets about 32 visits per player. This means the game doesn't have that many people join it every day. And now, if we check Grow a Garden analytics, you can see how much it changes. It can go as low as 1.5 million players and then get over 3 million players on the same day. It also gets over 200 million visits per day, getting 113 visits per player, much better than Pet Simulator. Going back to the player graph, you can see these spikes, which happen because of event weather. If those were to be all bots, they wouldn't be leaving and rejoining all the time, since bot farmers leave their bots run all day, all night. That means most of the players are actually players and not bots used by bot farmers. Since the game isn't heavily botted, how does it then get these insane records? At first it got 5 million, which was already insane by itself, then almost 9 million, almost 12 million, over 16 million, and finally over 21 million. Almost all these records happened just 1 week between each other, so it was basically setting a new record almost every update. Many think these are bots because after 1 hour, the game almost goes back to its normal player count, just slightly higher still after the hype. Well, that's where the admin weather comes in, or what people like to call admin abuse. You can see how the game gains a lot of players even 2 and 1 hours before the update itself. That is because the developers of the game interact with the community at that time. Developers, or mainly Jandel, who's the owner of the game, will spawn weather that gives good mutations, which obviously makes players want to join to not miss out on those good mutations. Developers also will showcase new weather events, like the zombie one I already showed earlier in my video, or radioactive carrot as another example. And you just don't want to miss out on new content. And while making this video, Grow a Garden even had an event with celebrity Travis Kelce, who's a sports guy. The event had some talking, shop restocking, which people also love to see, and of course new weather events. This was probably the biggest event before Update the Game have had so far, which explains why the player count was really high before the update. But why did it drop very quickly? Because there is usually no admin abuse after the update itself, which means no free items and mutations, which makes many leave until later. And besides admin abuse, people also like that developers actually interact with the community and do changes depending on if people like something or not. Here was made a tweet with a small announcement from Jandel, who apologized for making a new pet much rarer than usual because people didn't like that, and also gave some info on other things people were wondering about. Jandel also had a poll in Discord where he asked when people wanted trading to be added. That's only 2 out of many moments that shows players can actually influence how the game's future will be. If you didn't know, the game is sort of owned by a company called Do Big. They only got 25% of the game, but they were known for making games more pay-to-win, like Fish or Dusty Trip. But it seems like they are not against Grow a Garden being as free to play as it was. No game passes and almost everything being obtainable by being free to play. So far, the game seemed to be doing great, and it could continue that way for a while. And I highly doubt we'll see any other Roblox game beat it anytime soon, if ever, honestly. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I would really appreciate that. You can watch one of these videos while waiting for a new one. They are good too. Join my Discord server. You can chat with me and other members. The link is in description, and I will see you soon.